Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we'll be reassembling a Citizen 8200 watch movement. It's already been cleaned and ready to be put back together. I'll start off with a winding stem, applying grease in all the grooves, just ensuring they're all lubricated. Okay, next we'll place the clutch wheel. And when you put the clutch wheel in, just to make sure that the orientation is pointing in the right direction. Then we'll go with the winding stem. The setting lever is riveted to the main plate, so you might have to lift it up a bit, just so that way you can gently push in the winding stem, which is what I'm doing here. So just guide it in there. And that's it. Just a pro tip, let's slide the clutch wheel back and forth, that way we can spread the oil. I'll go ahead and oil this setting lever post. Next we put the setting lever spring. Just make sure the groove sits in the setting lever. And once that's done, we can tighten it. Next, we'll put the yoke. And just make sure the other end of the yoke sits squarely in the groove on the clutch wheel. And at this stage, you just want to hold the yoke in place. Don't tighten it yet. I'll explain in a few seconds why. And here we go. Reason being is to really have room to adjust the yoke and let it sit on the setting lever. And once that's done, yeah, you can tighten it. Now I'm just trying to put oil in where there's friction. I like to put oil in there and just make sure everything's working okay. It looks good. Now for any excess oil, just use your Rodico to remove that. Now put the watch channel movement holder, and next we oil the center wheel jewel. And put some oil on the center wheel. Install the center wheel bridge. I like to spin the wheel just to spread the oil, and we proceed with oiling the center wheel bridge. This time we apply oil on the sweep second pinion. This is a matter of dropping it in a hole, as you can see. Next, we put some oil on the lower pivot hole for the mainspring barrel. And we place the main barrel spring. Apply a little bit of oil. And install the ratchet wheel. So now we start building the training wheel with the escape wheel first. Just make sure it sits squarely in the pivot hole. Next is the third wheel. Next we install the fourth wheel. Next, we get ready for the click by oiling the post and installing the click. Just make sure the pointy end of the triangle of the click is pointing away from the center of the watch. That's the correct position. Okay, and just move the click up and down just to make sure the oil gets evenly spread out. And once that's done, you can go ahead and place the click spring. And once that's done, test the tension on the spring just to make sure it's working. And because there's a friction point, I like to smear it with oil. And I'll just proceed to remove the excess. Next, we install the pole winding wheel. This helps in the winding system of the rotor. Next will be the reduction wheel. It's a bit fiddly, but just take your time. You want to make sure you get this right. Next, we oil the intermediate wheel post. And also the crown wheel post. Next, we install the intermediate wheel. And you mustn't forget the intermediate wheel washer. Next is the crown wheel. Whoops. I found it anyway, so kind of putting it back. Now we place the barrel and train wheel bridge. It's a one-piece bridge, so it's a bit way fiddly to put it all back. Makes it more challenging. And just make sure all the pivots go into the right hole. So I'm not pressing too hard here, just guiding it. Well, looks like we've reached the end of part 1. I'll see you in part 2.